Hi, I'm Cassandra, and I'm here doing a video on elements of a peace-filled practice. One thing that I do here in my home is celebrate Diwali. So today it happens to be Diwali, so happy Diwali. That's why I'm wearing this. This is an Indian Hindu tradition that we have. I myself am not Hindu. I also have Scottish roots, so I subscribe to many different types of spirituality. But one thing that we do like to honor is Diwali. So what is Diwali? Diwali is the festival of lights, and the lights symbolize peace, lighting the world up with peace and bringing it into the world. So that's what we do when we light candles. We call them diyas, and so we light these diyas and we put them through our home. So we wave them around, and I'm stepping on something. We wave them around in the room to ward off negative energies. And hopefully these negative energies leave, go away, and are magically evaporating as the candles burn. Now we can only cross our fingers about that. But another thing I like to bring into my peace-filled practice throughout the year is lighting candles on a regular basis and bringing in colorful flowers. So you'll notice in many of my videos I always show flowers. This is a simple little Diwali arrangement that you can make. It's really easy to do. Take a little cup and 4 blossoms go on there. And Diwali is about the savoring of life to me, and the celebration of color, which is also light. Color and light go together. As an artist, there are many ways of explaining that, which I'll leave out right now and move on with my video. So I'm going to do these in order. So heartfelt intentions. That's where we start. So as I'm setting everything up, as I'm gathering the flowers, as I'm planning what food, planning the candles, where they'll go, which ones, and so on, I also am working with a heartfelt intention. There's a peacefulness that takes over. There's a sense of contentment that's associated with spirituality, that's associated with peace. So as I'm creating for Diwali these simple little, what you could call rituals, that it has become my ritual or practice, as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about peace. Sometimes I'm just zoning out into a state of peace as I'm gathering the flowers, as I'm putting them together. This is something I've done for years in this home. So heartfelt intention, that's where it has to start. If you're stressed, if your body is carrying stress, if your mind is carrying chaos, if you're worried about something someone else has done, blah blah blah, that other person's blah 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 stuff, then it's very difficult to start from this heartfelt intention place. So I have a philosophy called sparkle-centered living, and that's about pulling yourself into alignment. So all of that stuff out there stays out there, and the good things stay here aligned with you. That's so important. So another thing you can bring in, and I'm kind of making these out of order, is some sparkle. So my daughter found this in the summertime, and she wanted to sew something out of it, and she knows my philosophy is sparkle-centered living because we talk about it. And she thought this was so great because it was sparkly. So what I'm going to do is make a blog post where I put all these things together and show you how I would use this as a little tablecloth and put these other things together. It's going to work out, I promise. Just know that I did that after the video. So this heartfelt intentioned place is that sparkle-centered place or state where you're radiating out. You're radiating out your best intention, similar to a Diwali candle. It's hard for me not to make these videos funny. So here's another idea. Jar candles are very safe. So you can put these around your home. I have 3 of those that you'll see on the blog. And that's another thing you can do. You can set up sets of 3. That's a spiritual design element where there's unity, space, order going on. Okay, so heartfelt intention. Leave the stuff behind. Stuff at the office. People who are annoying you. Leave them behind. Clear the mind. Pull yourself into an aligned state where it's just you and your practice. A simple practice of puttering around, of gathering, using your hands, using your mind to do things with a good intention for peace for everyone. So when I do these things, my children note what I'm doing. People in my home note what I'm doing. I live with a house full of people, which is what I wanted as a child. It really is what I wanted. And so people note that this is a practice, and hopefully my children will take it on when they are older. So I mentioned color must be a part of it. This is called a bindi, and you can find them in an Indian shop and on the internet, I guess. Flowers and natural objects. You could bring in your own natural objects if you wanted to. You could create your own collage of, I saw some peppers in the grocery store. That's not traditional. I have some raspberries that are red. Those are colorful. You could put them out as a decoration. Now, one thing I really wanted to put that I don't have here that I will show on the blog is an arrangement of apples. Because in Trinidad, where my family grew up, it wasn't special to get an orange. Here in Canada, it was special at Christmas time to get an orange in your stocking. So many people treasure oranges at Christmas time here in Canada due to their tradition. But in Trinidad, they treasure apples because they would get one apple and they would cut the whole apple up for the whole family, and it would be like this amazing, amazing, magical fruit from far away. So I like to do an arrangement of apples, red apples, for that reason. So light and sparkle. I mentioned the sparkly fabric. I mentioned the candles. The candles do have a cleansing effect. If you don't use candles already, with a heartfelt intention of clearing. That is the purpose of the candles. They clear old negative energy away from you. They clear stalking energy away from you. Okay, this one is saying contemplation that leads to peaceful conclusions. So at the end of Diwali, as I'm putting everything away, usually it's busy, and there are vegetarian foods, a vegetarian dinner, and other Indian sweets like persad is one. And I have another one here that was my grandmother's favorite. Yes, this is a Rice Krispies square. I try to be Indian, I try. So they do have something called a rice cake, and it's sweet in Trinidad. I don't know if they have it in India, but this is one of my grandmother's favorites. So I'm going to put this out for my children. So I know it doesn't seem very glamorous and wonderful and gourmet, but this really is a cute way to do it. If you were having your own Diwali dinner, you could put these out like this at each spot. So the heartfelt intention. So as I'm clearing everything and putting everything away at the end of Diwali, I have a moment to contemplate, and I can go through some of my stuff, but I'm better equipped because I've gone through this peaceful practice. Some of the negative energy actually does lift. People are smiling, people are celebrating, people are talking, people are enjoying the color, healing energies of all the colors, and enjoying that we're celebrating something that we celebrate on a yearly basis. So the contemplation part. A lot of people assume that spiritual people only meditate, but many spiritual people contemplate. So contemplating means we're not trying to quiet the mind. Meditation is quieting the mind. Contemplation is deep thought. My grandmother used to call it studying. She'd say, I was up all night studying, studying, studying. Another word is discerning, discerning, discerning of what to do. I don't want to hurt that person. I don't want to hurt that person or that person. I want to create the best strategy possible for everyone. So what can I do? How can I be strategic? And she was literally one of the nicest women who ever lived. I will tell some of her generosity stories, and one day you won't believe it. You won't believe the things that she's done. So that's part of our herstory that's untold. You won't find that in a history book, but her stories really are very, very heartfelt. So thinking of her stories, thinking of other ancestors, other people in my family, other inspirational people out there, contemplating later, what would they do? Okay, what would my grandmother do in this situation, faced with all of these variables and all of these choices? What would she choose? Sometimes we are faced with the most crazy, outlandish decisions to make. And the choices are strange. These are her earrings. I will mention that. Anyways, contemplation is very important. It's where you go into a deep state of thought. As many of you know, I am a philosopher. I've studied philosophy, love the philosophers. So I think sometimes and apply philosophies during contemplation. So what you might say to yourself is, okay, how can we serve the greatest good in the situation? All of these people are coming up with these strange behaviors, and I have to now organize them all into alignment myself and come out looking the best possible, landing on my feet like a cat. So contemplation that leads to peace, because we can contemplate and create awful plans that lead to not peaceful solutions, or we can create beautiful solutions. And that does take creativity. That does take creativity. There is a woman named Patricia Sun. She said that creativity is needed to solve conflict. And I'm saying that compassion, thoughtful compassion, is mandatory to make situations peaceful. So, at the end of the day, all you can do is try your best, especially when situations are complicated. What can you do? What can you do when you're faced with all of these variables that don't match up? What can you do? All you can do is pull yourself into that alignment. Gather your sparkle. Let it radiate out afterwards. No one of us is perfect. With billions of people on the planet, not one is perfect, and not one could ever come up with the perfect solution to solve everything. It takes creative collaboration. It takes peacemaking. It takes lots and lots of heartfelt intention. It takes apology. It takes forgiveness. And it takes each and every one of us making a commitment. If everyone on the planet, or even 5% of us on the planet, were committed to peacefulness, putting this out every day, and insisting on peace, insisting on bliss, insist on bliss, used to be one of my taglines. I encourage you this Diwali to insist on bliss for yourself, create a life that's self-directed, a life that's stress-free, a life that you desire. That's all I can really do for you. I wish I could magically wave a wand and psychically change everything in the universe, but it really is the responsibility of each and every person to want that. We have to want the peace. We have to create the peace. And the part of peace making is support. Part of peacemaking is forgiveness. Part of peacemaking is sometimes laughing at things and saying, I don't know what happened there. Those variables are just so wacky. I don't know how to deal with them. And now I'm just going to wash them away, because they don't make sense to me. I cannot make sense of these variables. So therefore, I just have to move on from them. If only all of our problems came with a back of the book, flip to the back of the book where you can get the answer. We don't always have access to every single answer. And it's not on any one person to solve anything. There's some things that we just don't get to know. And I truly am not mindful of my hair right now. And I would have edited that out, but I don't edit videos yet. Maybe one day I will, but as for now, I haven't. What I want to end with is a happy note and a peaceful note where I'm saying that things in our world don't make sense, and sometimes people don't want them to make sense. And sometimes we don't get the answers to anything. I guess I'm expressing what I worry about, what I think about in the world. I worry for people who want to imitate instead of acting from the heart, instead of acting from a heartfelt, aligned place of peacefulness. Send that out into the world. Don't send carbon copies of other people's things into the world. I've been hearing so many stories about that lately, and it's just ridiculous. Create your own content, create your own things, insist on bliss for yourself in a way that doesn't hurt anyone. Be good. So another thing that at Diwali, when I was a child, and other Indian events, one thing that the grandmothers love to do is they will take your arm and they will say, keep good. And sometimes you might not see them again. And those are like their final words to you. So this whole thing of grasping the arm right here and saying, keep good. That's my wish for you today. Keep good. Stay good. Be good. Preserve yourself. Preserve yourself with goodness. That's my Diwali wish. Bye.